Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to the fray. It's daylight again. I'm streaming at nice hours now, so you should come hang out with us on Twitch sometime, on Thursdays, sometimes Sundays. Regardless, I appreciate that you've made it all the way to part 10, double-digit time. God of War Ragnarök with the therapist. I hope that you've been enjoying my analysis and the playthrough so far. I assume you are if you're still watching this, unless you're hate watching this. If you're hate watching this, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to know why you're doing that. Leave a comment, leave a thumbs up on the stream, and engage. Your engagement helps this hit the algorithm, and if you think other people could benefit from watching these streams, I would love it if you told them about it. It makes a huge difference for the stream, and I am so grateful for all of your support, no matter how it is that you bring it to the stream. Sorry to leave you on a cliffhanger. Not really, I'm not actually sorry, on the last episode, but we're going to start part 10 out with a bang, and I'm super excited to see where this goes. So, let's do it. All right, Angerboda, we have ridden the elevator. I'm ready. I'm ready for what you have for me. Do you like the clothes I'm wearing? You made them just for me, and they fit perfectly. They're really snug, kind of like hugs that I give. I give good hugs. If you ever want one, I very much view hugs as a consensual act, though. So we both got to be in on that. I'm just letting you know that my consent is in perpetuity. So if you want to hug me in my well-fitting armor that you made, that I decided to put on and show you that your craftsmanship was great. Let me get these for you.
I've got this.
Okay. Got to get back into that pubescent mindset for sure. Yeah, this rock's pretty heavy. I can get that. With you, because I love collaboration, and I believe in egalitarian relationships. I don't believe that I should have to do everything for you. You're strong too. We're both strong and smart.
I got your back.
Oops.
I've got this.
There we go. Yeah, welcome back to recess, kids.
This way. We're coming up on the Valley of the Fallen.
What happened to them?
They were tired of living in fear of Asgard, so they hid. Left a pile of corpses to confuse Odin, should he ever find a way into Jotunheim.
Where'd they hide?
We'll see.
Whoa. Neat. They're not my favorite, Pramble. Definitely not my favorite. This is cool. I still hate this. Like, my skepticism is on full alert right now. Like, I don't believe that we just randomly woke up in Jotunheim. Like, it just...
I got it.
Oh, man, it's so hot. Right, Atreus? My boy loves that autonomy.
More marbles.
Wait, you've seen these before?
Not these, but I found a few in Midgard.
Where?
Inside your mother's murals.
Oh, but that's... There are more out there.
What are they?
Just look.
The Yahtzee. Brother?
Hey, careful.
Bara. Giants. These belong to the giants?
These are the giants.
They're in Pokeballs?
They had a choice. They could stay in Jotunheim, waiting for Odin to find a way in to slaughter them. Or they could hide. My father helped whisper their souls into these.
Now I need to know who your dad is.
And before he died,
Oh, God.
he passed them on to me.
Oh, that's the Atreus thing.
Within these,
With Fenrir.
they found a piece. Now they are your responsibility.
Are you sure?
Well, that's what my mother saw. You're supposed to know what to do with them when the time comes.
Uh-oh.
And when's that?
I don't know. Let's head back.
This is a lot of responsibility.
It is. And it's all yours.
Oh,
Hey.
no.
You okay?
Her destiny's
Yeah.
fulfilled.
Yeah, no, I'm done. I guess. Now that I've given you those, my part in all this is over.
You could always come with me. We could fight Odin together.
If I was supposed to fight alongside you, I wouldn't disappear from your damn mural halfway through.
I understand. Well, we shouldn't break up the set. Don't you think?
Let's keep walking.
That's pretty heavy stuff. Angerboda is clearly somebody who believes in the idea of prophecy and that the way things have been mapped out is the way that things are going to be. I'm guessing she probably hasn't had the same kind of representation of that as Atreus has had with his father. And with Tyr to an extent. The point, though, that I want to make here is about like her anger and distance here. It is easier to leave angry. I have no doubt. I mean, think about how soul crushing that would be. The idea that your purpose has been fulfilled. She's put her entire stock into the idea that she is supposed to hand this stuff off to Atreus and likely hasn't thought much at all about what happens afterwards. So now all of a sudden she has to deal with this like soul crushing idea that her purpose has been fulfilled and now Atreus is leaving. Well, that's profoundly sad. That's probably disappointing in some ways. But accessing sadness and disappointment is often harder because those are vulnerable emotional experiences that often garner people moving in and closing the gap. But Atreus is leaving. He's got a prophecy to go fulfill. So what better way to soften the blow of that than to be angry at it and to take that anger out on him? People do this all the time in long distance relationships where they will get in a fight. They'll pick a fight before the person leaves, before they part ways, because it's easier than being sad when you know that the person you want to be proximal to you is no longer going to be available. That same thing is kind of going on for her, I think. She has to deal with an existential crisis, albeit at a very young age. And now Atreus, who she's built a little bit of a connection with here and who is connected to her most vulnerable moment of her purpose, is now has to leave. Really, really hard thing to manage, especially for a teenager.
Huh. Tallest peak in the realms. The only other time I was in Jotunheim, I was there with my father.
You know the Giant's Fingers?
I spread my mom's ashes there. Feels like ages ago. Hey, just because of some dumb mural, your story doesn't have to be over.
I know. I mean, I have plans. It's just... it's over as far as the Giants are concerned. So what's that make me?
A friend?
It's a great question. Especially if she doesn't really have anybody around her to help her make sense of this. It's tough. Now, there is quite a tension here between Atreus and Angerboda, if for no other reason than Atreus now has a renewed sense of purpose. Like, oh, damn, I've got the responsibility of taking care of the giants. Oh, I got stuff I got to go do. I got to go fight Odin. And she has just reached the absolute apex of what it is that she thought she was going to do with her life. And maybe she thought it was going to happen later on. Who knows? Atreus has to read the room as best he can and realize this. I don't know that he will, because I'm guessing that he is engaging in an immense amount of egocentrism right now and is probably assuming that everybody else is going to be as excited about this as he is. Teenage way. When the reality is, if he engaged in a bit more perspective taking, which is something that his father and Mimir would certainly help him do, he would realize that what means excitement and adventure for him doesn't always mean that for other people. And him just, yay, isn't this hot? Is not going to land the same with her. And if he wants to connect with her in this, he's going to have to hold space for the fact that this is not as awesome of a moment for her as it is for him. Doesn't make either one of them more important than the other. But if you want to connect with people, don't get selfish about your experience and assume that everybody feels the same about something as you do. Get to know their experience and get a feel for that and validate it. And they'll find their way to you too. Also, Gappy, to answer your question, it's even harder when you're a child. Take anything that's hard as a teenager, and it's harder when you're a kid. Pretty much. All right, so now where are we going? Where are you taking me? Back to the elevator?
Wait, did you feel that?
Feel what?
Help me with this. We should get back to Yala. Something feels off.
Diapa!
Uh-oh.
Yala?
Angerboda, could you help?
Oh, boy.
Is she okay? Oh.
Loki, what's happening?
I don't know. You put the rock down.
Hey, I can handle it. Go check on Yala.
I'll come around.
Erbaruta! Diapa!
Dude, this thing is crazy.
Nuaratra!
Up here.
Y'all okay?
Yeah, she was fine. Sorry about that.
So, these marbles, they're all that remains of the giants?
Not all of them. Some are just missing.
But where could they be?
Nowhere in the Nine Realms, as far as anyone can tell.
Is there a wolf you'll feed this green bulb to?
Whoever wants it. But maybe Earpo will get it first. He's fast. He'll share, though. Farah! Past those rocks, there's a sinkhole. That's where we're headed. We should... Something on your mind?
Nobody believed this place was real. They're gonna be so surprised.
Loki, you can't tell anyone about Ironwood. Not even your father. The biggest thing keeping this place safe is that Odin's not looking for it. My wards can keep the wildlife at bay, but if Asgard ever came looking...
I get it. I'm sorry. I won't tell anyone.
Two ways to interpret this. One is empathic toward Angerboda, which I'm going to start with that one. There's a chance that she's entirely correct. That Atreus talking about this, sharing it, and even telling Kratos, if information spreads and Odin figures out that this place exists, he could come looking for it. That may be entirely true, and her telling Atreus not to tell anybody is self-preservation. That is entirely possible. Here's the problem, is she's not taking into account our context, which is that I literally woke up here randomly from a dream. I have no idea how I got here. Everything that's happened so far has been crazy town. And so then when you come here and you tell me not to trust the one person who has been with me from the very beginning with this information, to me, that is a radical misfire and comes off as suspicious. It is her either inability or unwillingness to look at Atreus' context that is potentially making her either appear to be suspicious or is letting on that she is suspicious. The better way for her to handle that would be, I know you probably want to tell your dad. If you trust that your dad isn't going to tell anybody, I would understand if you told him. But you got to keep this on the DL, bro, because if you don't, Odin's on his way. And here's why that's a problem. But she didn't do that. She cast this blanket idea of you need to withhold information from a person that matters to you, but also just so happens to be a person that you're trying to exert autonomy against. And a really good way to exert autonomy against somebody is to have information that you don't share with them. There is power in being more omniscient than another person about something. So this comes off as problematic to me, almost as if this is something that has been conjured or is a way to try to allure Atreus away from his dad. And this is a great way to do it. Give him a sense of purpose that is unbelievable, and then tell him that the information has to be withheld from his father, whom he trusts. You are alienating him. Now you are taking a teenager's desire for autonomy and you're using it to manipulate him into alienation that could be his undoing. And that, to me, registers terribly here, and I'm not a fan. Maybe shit's self-preservation, but the context through which this happened makes this entirely messed up. And Atreus isn't going to think like that. That's why... The other thing here is Atreus isn't going to think like that, and we can't expect him to. He is a teenager. He's like 14. We cannot expect him to take all these variables into account. That's why if you need to control Atreus, you have to isolate him from Kratos, because Kratos serves as Atreus' eyes and ears. He serves as the developmental oscillation that moves Atreus more toward autonomous adult. It's the kind of the backwards thing about it is the closer that Atreus is to Kratos, the more he has the ability to think like an adult. The farther away he gets, the more childlike it's going to feel because he sits in the middle of these two things. So if I'm Odin, if I'm trying to manipulate Atreus, I'm trying to get him away from Kratos. And I'm trying to give him a sense of purpose that he has to withhold from his father. I'm trying to make sure that he feels powerful, strong, and autonomous away from Kratos and feels weak when he's near him, even though it's the opposite. So us not having Kratos available to us right now is scary. It adds to the tension of this because Kratos would look at this and he'd probably look at the rock that she unveiled last episode and go, doesn't have to be that way or whatever. But he's not here to do that. You know, be mindful, Atreus. Atreus ain't mindful right now. Only thing he's mindful of is, I want to help this girl because she just lost her sense of purpose. I could give her a sense of purpose. I could help. And yeah, that's exactly right, Dante. Right? We've already established that Kratos isn't good with secrets, which he really shouldn't be. We're not in a position for secrets to go okay here. We need information. Information is a massive amount of power here.
Whoa!
What is that thing?
Bye. Here's another one. So, is Irpa like the pack leader?
No, that'd be Note. She's one of the elders.
So, it's an interesting question, right? What's the other option that Angerboda works for Odin? I'm not suggesting that. Here's where I'm at with this, okay? I will zoom out to talk about this for a second. Again, I don't know if this is true. This is just where my mind goes with this. Our entire presence in Jotunheim is predicated on something that doesn't make a lot of sense. Last we knew, we were sitting at Brock and Sindri's. We had a fight with our dad. Sindri said go to sleep. We went to sleep. We fell into this like weird gold dreamy space. And then we woke up in Jotunheim. A little weird. We have no... It's like we got roofied and showed up in Jotunheim. So, the entire premise of this whole thing, in my mind, is off. Because if we take this as face value, if we take this as true, as we say, Atreus is actually in Ironwood / Jotunheim, then, sure, Angerboda is a giant. Angerboda handed us the marbles. Everything that's happening right now, we can trust our eyes and ears. But if we take into account the foundation of why we're here, all of a sudden you can't quite assimilate the information as well. Now all of a sudden I go to, if I'm Odin and my entire goal is to stop Atreus and Kratos from doing their thing, I would need to manipulate Atreus, not Kratos. I can't touch Kratos. Kratos is going to follow Atreus. He's going to do whatever Atreus is doing because he wants to protect Atreus. So I have to manipulate Atreus. So what do I need to do in order to manipulate Atreus? I conjure a very realistic and available thing in somehow or some way to get Atreus to feel a sense of purpose that extends beyond what it is that him and his father are either wanting to or capable of accomplishing. I want to absolutely stoke the flames of autonomy here. Because all my ravens have been watching the conversations in the boats before they get whacked by Kratos' axe. And I have a sense of what it is that Atreus is trying to accomplish and what he wants to do. I know he wants to fight me. Well, I could probably whoop Atreus' ass. So let me figure out a way to separate him from Kratos. I need to use his teenage autonomy against him. So I'm going to create a pretty girl that's going to get him excited. She's going to have the same identity as him, which he hasn't really seen represented outside of paintings. I'm going to give him a huge responsibility and purpose that already combines an experience that he already had. And then I'm going to tell him that he has to withhold all of this information from Kratos. And so if that's the case, it's not so much about Angerboda serving Odin. It might be that Angerboda is not even real. I don't even know if she's real. She could be something that was conjured by Odin. And I know I sound like I'm some sort of like crazy conspiracy theorist, but the entire reason that I believe this is because of how we got to Jotunheim. If there was if I saw the trail of how we got there, if we controlled Atreus on our way to Jotunheim and to Ironwood, it would be a lot easier for me to think that all of this is true. But we don't have the luxury of that. So skepticism is what's going to potentially keep me alive here. You have to consider all the variables that you can. Atreus is not capable of doing that, which again is why you isolate him from Kratos, because if this is indeed some sort of puppet stringing by Odin or whatnot, Atreus isn't going to think like that. That's what makes this so complicated for me. This has been an incredibly tense section of the game here because it doesn't feel right based on all the contextual variables that have been thrown our way. Again, I could be completely wrong. I would love to be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I can't afford the luxury of maybe I'm wrong. Like I got to be on guard here. This is the kind of shit that Kratos is trying to get Atreus to prepare for. All right, let's keep it going. And remember, chat, please, if you're coming in here, no spoilers, no backseating. Everything I'm saying on the fly. This is a blind run. So please, please, please do not say anything that may come off as a spoiler. Mods will remove it. You might be banned. I do not want to know whether I'm right. I want the game to tell me whether I'm right. Atreus absolutely struggles to say no to others because Atreus wants to help. Atreus wants to be low maintenance. So it's a great question. Do you think Atreus has a hard time saying no? Yes. Because Atreus has grown up, I think, with some internalized sense that he is a burden to Kratos. Even though Kratos takes care of him. Even though Kratos cares about him and does that voluntarily, Atreus has likely internalized it by virtue of the way that Kratos communicates that he's a burden, that he's high maintenance. So his whole MO is to try to be as low maintenance as possible and to try to show people that when he takes care of them, it's good for him. It's sort of like the anti-Kratos. I take care of people and I want them to know that it comes from a space of warmth, not obligation, because he's often felt that he is taken care of by a Kratos out of obligation, which is potentially his undoing as he seeks teenage autonomy. But that's a conversation for a different clip. So it's very hard for him to say no because he wants always to ensure that he is part of somebody's success story. And in this case, it could be Angerboda of like, she lost purpose. I want to help her with that. I don't want to say no to following her into this or doing this, because if I say no, even though that's an act of autonomy, it goes against this idea that I am in charge of, and master of my domain. And it means that I might hurt somebody, and I don't want to hurt somebody. I don't want to be a burden to them.
Lots of creatures in it. Used to get a lot of supplies for paint down there.
Yeah? We should run them out. Your paint supplies are important. If that's what you want to do.
Sure. Why not?
And if you like that meaty analysis, I encourage you to get these meaty beef sticks from Dauntless Snacks. If you're like, dude, Dr. Mick, what are you chowing on that's making it so that you can think through all these crazy-ass conspiracy theories? Dauntless Snacks. Go ahead and pop over to the Dauntless Snacks website. Use code UMatter at checkout. Get yourself 10% off your order. Use code UMatter. Support the stream. Support a veteran-owned company. Support the most delicious snacks you ever had. You want to analyze games like DrMick, your first step is to eat some Dauntless snacks. Mm.
Lina.
You need nutrition information, it's on the website. I would actually, I would not say that Atreus is insecurely attached to Kratos. I actually think there's a secure attachment to Kratos. I don't think his bids for autonomy come from a space of insecurity, and I don't think he's looking for a secure attachment necessarily from other people because he was insecure to Kratos. I think that he would like to distribute secure attachment so that Kratos is not his only consistent, reliable figure. But Kratos is so consistent, reliable, and available to Atreus that I don't think it really has facilitated any kind of insecure attachment. If anything, Atreus is acting the way I would expect a teenager to act if they did have secure attachment. Now, I don't know that to be sure, right? It's just a theory, but based on... Also, to be very clear, Atreus does not have a codependent relationship with Kratos. Atreus has been dependent on Kratos for a long time. Kratos is not really dependent on Atreus. There's a little bit of that budding in the terms of, in the sense of like, Kratos wants to take care of Atreus, and his role as a father and an important figure is attached to Atreus, but I would also argue that they have not had a codependent relationship. Codependent suggests that it goes both directions. For the most part, it's been Atreus being dependent on Kratos. It's a language thing, but it's an important one. A lot of people misuse the phrase codependent when they actually mean dependent.
Perfect. Hey. Hey, I,
Killed a flower?
oh, it's a gift.
Thanks, but, you keep it. Anyway, we're looking for wretch nests. Those will give me the supplies I need, so keep an eye out.
This is what I was talking about. It's a beautiful gesture. The intention is great, but it completely misses the mark. She knows he's gonna leave. She knows he's gonna leave. He's gone. Anything he tries to do to close the gap, she's gonna push back against because it hurts. If she is indeed real, it hurts too much. So she's gonna reject these offerings. And it makes sense to an extent. Now, would you like to have a more in-depth conversation where they talk about the way that all of this is affecting them? Sure, but I'm not expecting two teenagers to have that conversation. I'd expect two 30-year-olds to have that conversation, not two teenagers. That dependency is just because he's a teenager kid, right? It's not like something that's a character flaw. Oh yeah, of course. It's totally developmentally appropriate for a child and teenager to be dependent on a parent. Dependency is not a character flaw. Dependency becomes a problem in adulthood when people are blurring boundaries and are causing distress and problems in their lives. But no, from a developmental perspective, a child and a teenager being taken care of by a guardian or parent is absolutely appropriate and is what we would expect. It's not a flaw. When parents become dependent on their kids for certain things, that's when we have a problem. It's not your kid's responsibility to make you feel like you're a good parent. Or to even love you back. Which I know people think is a hot take. I promise you it's not. Yeah, Atreus leaving and coming back would be good.
It's so dark down here.
Let me fix that.
Wretches! A nest of them!
They're
Hell yeah.
everywhere down here. I've got this. If we can light more torches, we'll be able to see, clear them out, and grab what I need from them.
Let's do it.
You lead, I'll light the torches. This'll help. We can see again. Let me know if you see any more torches. I'll light them so you can keep moving.
I see a shovel. Does that help? Oh god.
Smells kind of funky, like old water.
I got you. I think we're close to another nest.
Oh god.
This'll help. There we go. I've got this.
Oh god. Not paying attention. Very elaborate trick. If this place isn't real, straight up an entire ecosystem with enemies and chests, that's how you would have to do it. See, again, I realize that I'm like Team Odin here, and honestly, if not Team Odin, like I'm not on Odin's side, but I have a immense appreciation for what Odin is capable of, and I think that that's part of the issue that some people have, is that they underestimate what Odin is capable of. If you're Odin, you have to make this as real as possible. You absolutely have to make this feel like it's something that is living and breathing. Because Atreus has been taught well by Kratos. Even though he's not as good as Kratos yet, he's been taught well. He is light years above what we would expect a 14-year-old in his position to be. So Odin would have to work really hard to make sure that Atreus doesn't start to notice things are off. Now, when he just said it smells like old water here, you could potentially interpret that as being him noticing an anomaly in the environment. But he hasn't been to this part of Jotunheim, so he could attribute it to being part of the environment he's in. So it's kind of a mind F, if you will. But again, we know that Odin is ridiculous, and he would go full stop on this because if he is truly threatened by Kratos and Atreus, he would have to do this. It would be worth the effort. You don't want to half-ass this. You absolutely don't want to half-ass this. I hope I'm wrong. Oh god, that's Angerboda. Odin has tricks we haven't dared to consider. Exactly, yes. We got to take that seriously. If a guy like Mimir is going to say that shit, and Kratos even is afraid of Odin, that's good information for us. Right? She keeps calling me champ, keeps stoking those flames.
Got another one. Ah, so much better.
Just doesn't sit right with me, friends.
So much cooler.
You should visit Midgard. Hard not to get lost in here, right?
Yeah, we're fine. We got this.
He says you should come to Midgard. She never commits to the idea that she would.
Oh yeah. There could be.
You were saying?
There we go. I've got you.
This is good. I can see I have chat inducted into my cynicism.
I swear, this place didn't used to be so icy. Be careful. These nests aren't just down here. They can be up on higher paths.
Got it. be many left.
There's only one left according to the prompt. By the way, I will use this as an opportunity to just say how much I appreciate all of you hanging out with me for these playthroughs. I do hope that you enjoy what I bring to these games, and I know it takes time out of your day or night to watch these, so thanks for devoting some of your time to supporting what I do. It really does mean a lot, and I'm grateful for all of you, whether you're here on YouTube or Twitch.
What if you came with me?
There we go.
Where?
Midgard? The other realms? Anywhere.
I don't think that's a great idea. My animals need me, but it's sweet of you to offer.
That's okay. It makes sense.
Got it. Got it.
Atreus is operating on an entirely different conceptualization of reality. That you are not slave to prophecy. She is like, yep, prophecy. That's how it goes. You want to talk about a clash of doctrine, spirituality, existentialism, the whole 9 yards. This is it right here. There are some things that can be irreconcilable because of the fact that people come from different realities on this stuff. It doesn't, again, make either one of them necessarily right or wrong, but it's going to lead to a sense of disconnect between the two of them.
I got this one.
You've had all of them. Why?
You can see again. Huh. I think there's another one nearby.
I don't want to go down there yet.
Got it.
Where are they coming from?
Got it.
Wait.
Nicely done.
Oh, yeah, it is. Let's go.
I think that's all of them.
Thanks.
Feeling any better?
A bit. Let's head back.
Okay. What do you think of the overall gameplay so far? It's fun. I don't appreciate how quick some of the characters are to backseat, but I don't really play this for the gameplay so much as I do for the cool story. Gameplay's good, though. Talon taken from progeny of the great hawk Abruptly, found with runic properties. Cool. Let's take a look at that. Using a Hellstone or Ragestone refunds 1 runic arrow and reduces runic summons cooldown. Not interested. They really not jump down from here? Really? Oh.
I've got you.
What's your, favorite color?
I'm supposed to pick one?
Not if you have more than one.
No. No, I got this. Blue. Wait, maybe green? Yellow's also so
Oh, she just got thrown off the bridge of death. Oh, it's a blue, no green.
good. Ugh, but how can I forget about red? Ugh.
You gotta answer me these questions 3. They're the other side you see, and you just Yeah, I get it. You want to make conversation, Atreus. You ain't gonna get it, brother. Not gonna happen. She ain't interested.
No. That Derek's rough.
Someone was bound to be mad. We
We needed to.
Does it matter to her? Not ready yet.
Jumper!
Catch this. I've got this. I got your back.
Oh god.
Little bit of this, little bit of that. You okay?
Yeah. You?
Ready to be out of here.
Slow down time and shoot 3 empowered arrows by pressing R1.
Let's head home.
Okay. Got what you needed. Cool. Let's go.
You know, I thought learning my destiny would change something, but I'm still just me. Was it like that for you?
You're always still going to be you, Loki. It's about coming to terms with it.
And you've come to terms with it?
I thought so.
Go on. But
Back the way we came?
Nah, head around the sinkhole. It'll be quicker.
Oh, I meant to ask you. Your mother had visions. Can all giants tell the future?
Some. In dreams.
Hey, yeah. I dreamt of Thor a while ago.
Thor.
Came true, too. He showed up at my house.
He did? Sounds kind of like a nightmare.
Yeah, kinda.
sparks flew, that's for sure. My dad kind of whooped his ass. Yeah, people say I'm as strong as my dad. People say we're cut from the same cloth. Yeah, I'm just saying.
What are those?
Fireflies?
Are they dangerous?
That's adorable.
Kinda nice.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
For what? Oh, wow.
I know things have been weird in a lot of ways, but I'm glad you came here.
Me too.
Interesting, because Something else I'm thinking about is how Atreus has such a love for animals and stuff. Just a really good way to connect with him, like no matter what, regardless of whether this is nefarious or not.
So now that I know how to get back here, I could come back anytime I wanted.
Do you?
Right?
When?
I don't know. After things calm down.
As in, after Ragnarok?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't think I'll be busy then. Ah.
The heck are those things? These are creepy.
Come on, girl. You can make it.
What's up here?
A shortcut.
Good girl. You can do it, Yala. I believe in you.
Let's give Yala a break.
I meant what I said before. You know? About your paintings. They're really good.
Are you trying to cheer me up?
Yeah. Is it working?
Ask me again and...
About damn time.
What the?
Shut up. Too late to whine now.
Now. Damn it.
Who was that?
Kryla. She...
What's wrong with it? I can't feel anything.
There's nothing to feel. Kryla whispered its soul away.
You know where she lives?
What are you gonna do?
I've buried enough wolves this winter.
Follow me.
Okay.
Watch out! These creatures are fast!
Got that!
Interesting. Is it possible that Angerboda is putting false expectations on Atreus Loki since she's been told about Loki for so long? Totally possible, yeah. I'd be surprised if she wasn't, if I'm being honest.
I got your back! If we run into Kryla, please don't do anything drastic.
Why?
She's my grandmother.
What?
She wasn't always like this. When she learned my father wouldn't do anything to avert his fate, she... changed.
I see.
Gryla is Angerboda's grandmother. Normally I would be so excited at the thought of meeting one of the only other remaining giants, but she and Angerboda's relationship is strained, to say the least. Not in the way Father and I were before our journey, but it sounds like Gryla did something to hurt Angerboda. She said Gryla changed after Angerboda's father refused to challenge his fate. Earlier we saw a soulless animal. Is she taking the souls of living things? It's really interesting because, like, you got people, again, you got people that are like, yo, I don't want to deal with my fate. And then people getting mad that people aren't accepting fate. This whole fate thing is such a...
Looks like we'll need to find a way through.
Jaffa.
Can you see anything on the other side?
Looking.
Let's keep going.
Oh, good. Another one. At least now I can chuck paint at it.
Did a lot of giants live here? Over time?
You want to know about your mother?
She lived this entire life before she had me. But I don't know anything about it.
Sorry. I don't know anything about her. Your mother left the path of the giants way before I was born.
Oh yeah, totally agree, Dante. It would be pretty wild. Again, I could be completely wrong. Completely wrong. And I'm open to being wrong. I just still don't have the answers that I would need in order to feel comfortable about this whole thing.
Lata, go! This is Gryla's home. No lights. She may still be checking her traps, but she might have more animals inside. We have to be quick.
Boy, not a great abode relative to the world that it's in. Big door. You know what they say about people who have big doors? Big hinges.
There's another way in, up there. We'll have to figure out how to get to it.
I wonder if it's the marking clearly on the wall there. Wonder if that's how I gotta do it. Check something.
Maybe there's a way up on the other side, but I won't be able to get across.
That's all right. Hang tight. I'll go say hi to your grandma for you. JK, why don't you come across?
Hang on. I'll create a way up for you.
So, Gryla, what does she need animal souls for anyway?
She can live moments from their lives. Finally feel free. The wind in their fur as they run. Their only worries for me to hunt and go to sleep. But it's not real.
Oh.
Do you really have to use red rope on the cages? This makes it all the more creepy. Oh boy.
Ryla's still out.
Wow, the things are so big. Where's the wolf?
There's a door to the cellar over here. She might keep the animals down there.
It's a big old place here. She got big stuff because she big. She's a giant. Trace. Silly little goose. Silly little goose boy.
Loki, we should get moving if we're gonna do this.
The key's already in the lock. Just gotta turn it.
Loki,
Hey, we know my future, and it doesn't involve us getting killed by your grandma.
not how it works.
Well, I mean, that's a decently logical conclusion. That's the whole problem with this entire thing. Like, oh yeah, I'm invincible because my fate is elsewhere.
I'd like to get out of here sooner rather than later. Almost.
It's a big key.
Got it.
This is gonna be crazy. Oh my god. Angerboda, you want to tell me what we're in for here? This woman has to be huge. She's like in a totally different weight class. Like at least one weight class up. Oh, I can only imagine, Scott. Yeah, it's a great story premise.
I think I can hear something breathing near the back of the cellar.
Me too, but I'm not hearing their voice.
I'm gonna go this way because I'm playing an RPG and I gotta make sure I go everywhere else before I follow you. Yep. This is spooky, spooky. Spooky, spooky. Boy.
We need to find a way back there.
Perhaps I possess the tools in order to get us back there.
That's it.
It wasn't even hard. Not even that difficult. Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
I can't feel anything. Just like the other one.
She took its soul. There's not much more we can do.
Hold this.
What are you?
You didn't have a least favorite giant, did you?
What?
Never mind. This one.
No. You can't.
Your mother said I'd know what to do with these.
Yes, eventually. I just gave them to you.
I know. But you can't hide forever, right? And we can't just leave it here to die.
Are you sure?
You're gonna pick the snake?
No. I actually don't know how to do this part.
Okay.
Jesus Christ.
Together, then?
my god, dude.
Heck yeah. Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
You made me a snake, you dick.
Wait! That's it? Where's it going? That even work?
I don't know. Here.
You got like 4 marbles left, big dog.
But you're giving up already? They're your
It's
responsibility.
not that. It's not. I just think they're better off with you.
Loki. Are you certain?
Call me Atreus.
Okay. Let's get back. Head up those stairs again.
I'm sorry. I just...
We'll have to get out the same way we came in. She can't know we were here.
Then we better put that cut back when we get to it.
Oh, wow. I've okay. I got to give a little bit of background on this. I've used the word oscillation a few times in this playthrough. And oscillation theory is something that was developed by a mentor of mine, actually. And I'm going to give a little bit of a 101 on how oscillation theory works as it relates to development, because I have to use oscillation to explain this. I'm going to do my best because it's complicated. I used to do a 3-hour lecture on this, and people would only half understand it. So the idea is that development is not a straight line. Development is something that happens via a series of over and under competence relative to the mean expectation of where you would be at a certain point in your development. So the example I'm going to use here with Atreus is responsibility with the power that he has. Children don't really understand what it means to have the ability to influence the environment. Responsibility is something that they see as like, I'm responsible for cleaning my room, but they don't think about this like wider, symbolic, abstract responsibility you have to these abstract concepts like ethics and morality and leadership and whatever else you want to throw in there. So as a person develops, in this case through their teens, their ability to grasp responsibility is going to go through a series of times where that responsibility dips below and is more childlike. And there might be times where it goes above, where you're essentially overcompetent as you learn a new skill or as you hit it right the first time or whatever it might be. So Atreus' whole identity and the thing that he's been all about leading up to this point is this idea that he can do this. I have the ability to make decisions about what to do with the souls of giants. I am responsible for the last of my people. His ability to grasp that is not going to be as awesome as Kratos's might be. Even Kratos might struggle with that kind of thing. It's a massive amount of responsibility. So when he is in this moment where the snake is hanging from the wall and he has these marbles available to him, he engages with this amazing sense of responsibility and ability to influence the environment and says, I'm going to do something with that. I can help this snake because I have the ability to do it. That's a bit of like overcompetence to an extent. Like, that's huge. I can bring a snake back to life. The undercompetence aspect of this is that he did not think this through at all of what it, because he doesn't have the all the variables he needs to actually understand what it means to take the soul of a giant and put it into an animal. He just does it. So then we have undercompetence. So he oscillates here in his responsibility to the world and the influence he has with it. Well, then what that does is it cuts into Atreus' sense of overall competence and responsibility and his role. And I think what happened here is he became acutely aware through the disappointment of what happened with the snake that maybe he's not ready for Loki. Maybe he doesn't actually understand it. What better way to get smacked in the face than to have an experience that essentially punishes you for that overcompetence? Or for assuming that you're in that role. For doing something without actually taking into account the variables you need to take into account to do something like that. So he pulls back. He failed. He was wrong. And as teenagers will often do, when they have a moment of profound being wrong, they assume that it's this detriment to their who they are, instead of just taking it in stride, being like, yeah, people are wrong sometimes. But he's like, whoa, I messed that up. It didn't go along with my expectations. Take these marbles back and call me Atreus. I'm good, bro. Like, that's essentially what he does there as a way to overcompensate for this, like, immense awareness of the responsibility he had as Loki. So we see all this intersection of these oscillations of his identity, of his development as somebody who has the ability to influence the world. He basically just had great power, great responsibility smack him upside the head, which in some cases is what teenagers need to have happen in order for them to really understand the way that they influence the environment. But this is just such a... I mean, his rejection of the entire role because he screwed up once, if you want to use oscillation theory, is undercompetence. A person who actually understands leadership and influence, who's more adult-like, is going to maybe take that in stride and go, whoops, that's maybe not what I was supposed to do. Maybe I acted impulsively there. I'm not just going to throw marbles at dead animals as soon as I have the opportunity to do it. I'm going to learn from this experience. But we don't see him do that. We see him get undercompetent, which is where Kratos is so important. Because what you want to do with oscillations is you want to stabilize them over time. And by stabilize, it means mitigate. It means bring those oscillations closer to the mean so that you stay relatively stable and constant. That is what Kratos serves as relative to Atreus. He uses his adultness and his knowledge of the world to stabilize Atreus' oscillations through scaffolding. But Atreus doesn't have Kratos available to him. He's with somebody who is essentially at the same level of development he is, who basically looks at him and goes, "You sure?" And he goes, "Yeah, I guess." That's not a very adult-like, responsible way to handle that. This is why teenagers scare us as they get more autonomy and they go out and influence the world, because we know that they can influence the world in very profound ways, not like how a 5-year-old can influence the world, but they don't possess the prefrontal cortex and the forethought and have the lived experiences to be able to deductively move their way through the world. So it becomes very scary. Teenage oscillations terrify us. But you don't want Guardians to overcompensate, but you do want somebody who can meaningfully move him through the thought process. Not unlike what we saw back in Alfheim when Kratos was talking to him about the Elven War, and Atreus was like, "Oh man, this is really complex." He didn't go there with this. So him immediately saying to himself, "Nope, I'm Atreus now. Call me Atreus. I ain't Loki. Take the marbles," is him essentially rejecting this idea that that's what he should be doing right now, in him basically overcompensating for the fact that he got into water that was a little bit too deep for him here. And we'll see what this means for him now, because he's going to be pretty bummed out, I think. He might feel a sense of empowerment in this idea that he's Atreus, but him ping-ponging back and forth like this is a sign of his lack of full maturity and development. I hope that that makes sense. It's a very, very complicated theory that is very hard for even therapists to grasp, but this is a really great example of it. Do you think Atreus's potential sense that Kratos still thinks he's not ready is also a factor, and that failure in his mind proves that his father to be right? It very well could be a contributing factor, for sure. And that's going to be a bummer to him, because for a lot of teenagers, the fact that their parents were right can really be a bummer, because it means they were wrong. And if they're wrong, there's a whole shitload of stuff that gets wrapped into identity instead of being seen as a contextual variable. Like, it gets very complicated here. But yeah, it's possible. What was Atreus expecting to happen? We don't know. I don't think Atreus knows what he was expecting to happen. What Atreus was engaged with there was the idea that he could do something. But just because, it's like the Jurassic Park meme, just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's a lesson that people have to learn in hard ways as they mature. And Angerboda is not the foil for this. Like, we can't expect Angerboda to be the thing that helps Atreus understand this stuff. She's not really any farther developmentally than he might be. Ooh, what is this?
No way. Is that Yala?
Sure is. This is an old one.
Like, we got to get out of here, but I got time to talk about my painting. Always got time to talk about my paintings. There's no way this goes smoothly. There's no way we get out of here, no problem. Justin seems to have a distinctive bias. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I mean, she seems fine, but I don't know that I fully trust her intentions. It's hard to do that at all in this game.
We have to close the door.
I've got it.
Fee, fi, fo, fum. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. We gotta turn the key. Put the pot back. God,
Hey,
oh god, oh god.
help me with this. It's heavier than it looks.
A cast iron cup? Yeah, I bet. Oh god. Oh god.
Hide!
Enough whining.
Oh.
You can remember in a moment.
We're just going to kill him.
No, because we are going to stop her. I've avoided this for too long. She's not well.
You know, you should be thanking me. What good does a soul do anybody? It's just a vessel for pain. I damn near envy you.
Okay, the cauldron. Without it, she'll have no use for the souls. I'll distract her. You free the wolf. Then we break the cauldron.
You sure?
No. But we can't hide forever. Go.
I told you never to come back here!
That's right, look at me!
So many things I've forgotten, and you refuse to be one of them!
It doesn't have to be this way. If Ragnarok is coming, wouldn't you rather face it together?
Destiny ever do for anybody? Was it your mom's destiny so young? Was it your father's destiny?
I won't give up on you.
Okay.
You brought a fray!
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Get out of my house!
I'm going.
Through here. Follow
I'm
me.
going.
This way.
That's right. Run!
Up this way. There's a way back to our kitchen.
Where are you?
You sure you want to go back there?
I told you, we have to.
I can hear you.
Oh boy.
Over there. Gotta destroy that cauldron. Can you swing across?
I can try. Why would you think we're over there?
You hiding? Stay. Pay.
Oh wait. Ugh.
Away from that! Champion of the Jotnar, here in my humble home. Having a bit of fun before your father croaks, eh? Don't talk about my father!
Oh, what?
You'll do well as Odin's stable boy. Shut up!
Shut up.
Sure he'll make such a fine pop, you'll forget all about your own luck. Shut up!
Shut up! Stop! Don't talk about my dad.
Sword! Kill!
Now's your chance! Get to that cauldron!
Why are you even here? No! Get away! Dragahan Undir!
Gotta get off the floor.
Ugh.
You're pitiful giants! The both of you!
There's a candle over there. Maybe she'll get stunned if I hit it.
Springandi Tangur! I'm ashamed we're even related, girl!
You don't mean that.
Sword! Kill!
Oh yeah. Back over here.
Beam! Get away from me!
She's stunned. Now hit the cauldron.
You will not touch my cauldron! Springan Traubur! Dragahan Undir!
Oh god. Oh god. Ugh.
Why are you so bent on hurting me like this, girl? I've done nothing to you!
You can't keep stealing souls.
They're just animals!
Come on, let me snipe it.
Leave me alone!
Come over here.
What did I ever do to you?
Shoot those before they hit you. It's just dispel their magic.
Ooh.
This is all I've got! Dragahan Undir! Hey, Gubona, watch out! Get off the counter!
Nope. Go. Get jumped out. No. Game. No. Oh god.
fool!
I
Broke your
saved
cauldron.
you.
I should have thrown you to the wolves right after I pulled you out of your mother. Get out!
Just
Get out!
no. Let's go.
You think you've done something here, granddaughter? You are nothing! And no one will ever remember you! Not even Loki! You'll just be a forgotten chapter in his story! He'll be too busy mourning his father! I see you again! You'll wish you died with your parents!
This happens. Guarantee you there's some people watching this right now that have had family like this. And you may ask yourself, why on earth would a person talk to a kid like this? And the thing that makes this really difficult for teenagers is they have a very hard time separating from what an adult in this case would say. And we see that on Angerboda's face as she's crying as she walks away. The grandmother's projecting. Everything the grandmother is saying there is a reflection of her own heartache. She was likely forgotten. She probably didn't have a purpose or didn't fulfill it. There were people that she lost. We heard that. There were people that she lost. She lost her own daughter. She wishes that she didn't feel pain. Well, when she sees her granddaughter do something about it, or attempt to do something about it, all of that frustration about herself, maybe her lack of willingness or ability to do something, maybe just all the pain of the fact that there were things that happened that were outside her realm of control, she takes that and she slings it at her granddaughter. Because it's easier to work that stuff out when you throw it into other people than it is to deal with your own shit. The reason it is so mean and awful to do to a teenager is Angerboda's not going to hear that with context. She's not going to hear that and go, well, that's my grandma's issues. That's not me. She's just projecting. She's not going to do that. She's going to very much internalize that. Maybe that's true. Maybe I will be forgotten. I'm worried about this stuff too. And I see this person who has more life years under her belt say this to me, somebody who I care about and is supposed to protect me. It makes it a little bit easier for me to believe it. It's awful. But it's a reflection of the insecurity of the grandmother. And the thing that we therapists often have to do when we work with adults later on in life is detach you from that narrative to get you to realize that's your grandma's shit. That's not you. It has no everything she said has absolutely no bearing on your life. I get that it hurts because your grandmother said that you won't matter. But your grandma is just reflecting that she doesn't feel like she matters. She's had a lot of shit happen to her that was painful, and she wants to offload that pain rather than work through it. But that narrative's not yours. You don't have to pull that sled for your grandma. She wants you to pull that sled. You don't have to pull that sled for her. You pull your own sled. You figure out your own life. You figure out the narratives that matter to you. You create those narratives. You don't need to continue to perpetuate those. You absorbed them as a teenager because you didn't know any different. You had no way of understanding the complexity of what was happening to you when the family member said that to you. And of course you internalized it. And that's not your fault. I don't blame you for that at all. But it is your responsibility to drop that rope, to stop pulling that sled, and to pull your own. Incredibly difficult to do. This stuff happens to people and it really messes them up for a long time because Angerboda is likely to internalize this if she doesn't have a proper adult figure around to help her realize that that's not hers to take on. That's all the pain of the grandma. It has absolutely no bearing on Angerboda or her future.
You sure it's alright to leave her here? What if she comes out looking for...
She used to leave me food.
What?
She'd say she didn't care about me, but sometimes I'd wake up and I'd see a loaf of bread sitting next to the fire. Just baked just the way she always used to. She's not a monster, you know? She's lost.
You wanna walk?
That is incredibly empathic. And I appreciate the hell out of her ability to do that. Empathy's great. Empathy is mutually exclusive to boundaries. You can empathize with the pain of somebody. In this case, Angerboda is empathizing with the pain of her grandmother. She realizes she's lost. She knows that her grandmother is hurting immensely, and maybe that she even cares about her in some depth of her soul. That doesn't mean you have to take that shit. Doesn't mean that the grandmother's way of orienting herself to that sense of being lost is appropriate. And Angerboda, as she gets older, would do well to set some really hard boundaries about that. You don't have to put up with people treating you terribly just because you can empathize with where they're coming from. They are separate issues. And a lot of people think that because they can empathize, they have to blur their boundaries or put up with more because it's just not what they mean. She's just, her intentions are good. The impact matters, and you should bound yourself so that you're not putting up with inappropriate behavior like that. We can empathize till the cows come home about what's going on with grandma. We also need to hold her accountable to that behavior. They're mutually exclusive. Is there a way to tell when somebody is actually projecting, like signs? They will usually assume things about you that you could very easily connect to their own experience and that are not true. Projection often shows up via assumptions and the way that people orient themselves to those assumptions. It's not an exact science, but that's generally a good way to it. And oversimplifications about the assumed intentions of others.
This way. We should get you back.
Angerboda said that Gryla is lost, and from what I could see, she's right. She can't take the souls of animals anymore, but that isn't the end of her story. I hope she and Angerboda can eventually fix things. Angerboda deserves a supportive family just as much as Gryla does. And a boy, Atreus.
You've been gone longer than you think.
Been gone longer than you think. Oh, boy.
Angerboda.
It's fine. This was a long time coming. We'll be back once we reach the other side of this pass.
Well then, that's 2 out of 3.
Atreus,
Race me, come on.
I see what you're doing.
You know you want a rematch after last
I
time.
appreciate, last time I beat you.
I'm pretty sure it was a tie.
Pretty sure it wasn't.